sorry.
Emilia.
Amelia. Nice to meet you. Paul. I will shortly give you an introduction about our program today. So now from 4 till 5 we will have the talk. Then at 5 there will be a vegetarian feast will be served here in the temple room and in the prasadam room. And at 6:50 we will have a mantra meditation, chanting, meditating on the prayer beads. And at 7 there will be Gora Arati, our ceremony. And from 8 till 9:30 there will be continuous kirtan. And today's talk will be given by Rasasraya Rama Prabhu. And I will give you a short introduction. Actually, he's my brother. And he feels very awkward that I'm introducing him, but that's our program. That's a part of our tradition. Rasasraya Rama Prabhu, he grew up in this temple. He did his master's in robotic engineers. And he's a disciple of Krishna Kshetra Maharaj, who is a direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya. And Rasasraya Rama Prabhu, he's also a member of our temple board and is the head of our events and festival department here in this temple. And today's topic will be Isavasyam principle. And yeah, and I wish you a wonderful Sunday. And may I ask you all to come closer, that our latecomers will still have space. Und braucht jemand eine Übersetzung ins Deutsche?
Hare Krishna, also welcome from my side. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to see you all here. Thank you very much for your time. You took some time today to come and visiting our temple. So before we start, we will sing a prayer. And this is called the Jaya Madhava. And after the song, we will start with today's talk. You can find the lyrics here. It's a beautiful song describing the spiritual world. So with this song, we will kind of set the scene and then later start. Om Shrivadaya Krishna Rasasraya Bhundale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidhi Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavari Vastatya Desadharani Ye Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Guru Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna, welcome again. So today's topic for today's Sunday feast, I thought to discuss about the Isavasyam principle. It is a teaching from this book called Sri Isavasyam. Who has read this book? So this is a very, this book describes a very, very relevant teaching for everyone, from our individual level till to the collective level, because this book describes how to live in harmony. I think we all try to live in harmony. At least we try to create harmony in this world, and but we see that it's quite difficult. The world is always in imbalance, and we have imbalance in our own lives, in our families, in our nations, but also worldwide in the nature. And we see, for example, uneven distribution of wealth in this world, uneven distribution of food, people starving, and on the other hand, people having too much food, uneven distribution of power. Some people have too much power. So we see somehow to create a harmony is quite difficult, and we usually try to bring or impose harmony through different methods, maybe through technology, also through politics or through economics. But we see it's very difficult, and what an amazing matter of the Vedas, of the scriptures, and also of Sri Isavasyam is that these scriptures, they bring our attention to the root problem, the root cause of our problems. And these books can be very, very eye-opener, because these books describe, if we don't first see what the root cause of our problems are, then we can try to solve every problem on a higher level, or but it would be just trying to cure a symptoms, but not the cause itself. And one way, or one important point to have harmony in our life, what this book particularly describes is that we have to know who is the proprietor. So this will be kind of the topic. It's linked with the Isavasyam principle. And for this, I would like to start with a story. This is a story of two brothers, Shankha and Likita. And this story is actually told in a book called Mahabharata. And there, a king called Yudhishthira is asking a saint called Vyasadev about a solution, about a problem for which he is looking for a solution. The problem is that he is the righteous heir of a kingdom. Yudhishthira is the righteous heir not only because he's the eldest son in the dynasty, but because also he has all the good qualities what a king requires to rule a kingdom. But the problem is he has a cousin called Duryodhan, and the cousin is very, very much envious of his other cousin Yudhishthira, and he is always causing problems and he likes to rule the kingdom. And they are in a brink, or in an instance where a war is going to break out. And now Yudhishthira is wondering, is it really beneficial to start the war just to rule over the kingdom? So this is the dilemma Yudhishthira has. And Vyasadeva, he's telling now the story of these two brothers, Shanka and Likita. So these two brothers, they are saints or sages, and both have an ashram. And one day, the brother Likita is going to the ashram of his brother Shanka for a visit. And when Likita arrives at the ashram of Shanka, at that time Shanka is not present in this ashram. So Likita is sitting beneath a mango tree and is waiting for his arrival of his brother. So time is going on, his brother has not arrived yet. So, and on the trees there are many mangoes, many ripe mangoes, and Likita thinks, let's just take one mango and eat it. My brother is coming, so he's taking the mango and he's eating it. It was a very tasty mango, and when he's in the ashram of his brother, so he's very much enjoying the mango. And later Shanka arrives, sees his brother, he's very happy to meet him, but then he has realized his brother has eaten this mango. And then Shanka says to Likita, how can you eat this mango? You have not asked for permission before you took the mango. So how can you eat the mango? And Likita says, come on, we are brothers, right? You are just my brother, I'm visiting you, so I just took the mango and ate it. But Shanka says, no, this is actually not the rule of nature or of religion in this way. You cannot just take things from nature without the proper permission, even if it's just a mango. So then Likita says, okay, what shall we do? So Shanka answers and says, you need punishment actually for this, because what you did is now a theft. You have stolen something. So go to the king and ask for the right punishment. So Likita goes to the palace, visits the king. The king is very happy to see a sage visiting him, so he's very nicely inviting Likita to his place, and very much welcoming him nicely, then asking, what is the reason you have come visiting me? And Likita explains the story, what happens, that he has just eaten a mango from his brother, and now he asks the king to give a punishment. And the king says, what are you asking? You are a sage. I have asked from you many instructions, and you have guided me for many years. How can I punish you now for an activity which seems very small? I just forgive you, it's forgiven, you don't have to worry. And then Likita says, no, my brother insisted, and I also feel that I have transgressed a rule or a law. Please give me the righteous punishment. And at that time, when someone stole something, the punishment was that they cut off their hands. Don't be shocked, different traditions, different times, they gave different punishments. So the king cut off the hands of Likita. And Likita was happy now because he thought he did something wrong, and he went back to his brother, Shanka, and Shanka was very happy to see him, that he at the end took the punishment. And satisfied, Shanka told Likita to take a bath, and then afterwards to come to his ashram to take food. And when Likita was taking the bath, he saw that mystically his hands has reappeared again. Then he's going back to asking his brother, look, my cut off hands, they appeared again. And Shanka told him, yeah, because I was very pleased with you. By my mystical power, I let your hands grow again. And Likita was wondering, my brother, you are such a powerful sage. If you can do these wonderful things, why didn't you give me the punishment in the first place? Why did you send me to the king for the punishment? And Shankar said, that is not my responsibility or my duty. My field of duty is to give advices to people. That I am a sage, my duty is to give advice, and the king's duty is to give punishment. Therefore, that was his responsibility. This is mine, so therefore I send you to the king. So this is the story I wanted to share with you. And here, what is the lesson of this story? Don't worry, this story is not telling you if you're visiting your brother or your sister and you open the fridge and take a bottle of orange juice without asking that you have to be punished. This is not the point of the story, but the story is bringing a point. Namely, that we cannot just take things or accumulate things which are not in our possession. We cannot just take things, accumulate things which does not belong to us. And it is specifically a very, very important teaching to humans, because in this story, this mango was just hanging in a tree, right? This mango was not hidden in a storage room of the sage. It was not kind of stored and reserved. This was just hanging in a tree in the area which belonged to Shankar. And usually what will happen, other animals, they will come and eat from the fruit. And we will not give punishment to the animals, right? But for the humans, we as human, or we who have taken the form of, haven't taken birth in this human form, we have to be very careful what and from where we accumulate things in our life. Because human beings, we have developed consciousness, we have a higher intelligence, so with higher intelligence also comes higher responsibilities. And if we use the responsibility nicely, things will be in harmony. And if we don't use our responsibility nicely, then we will bring imbalance to the nature, to the world, to our lives, to our family, etc. In this story, there is also one part that Shankar tells to the king, or tells Likita to go to the king for the punishment. This is also a point of the Isavasyam principle, but I will come to that point later. I just wanted to start a small discussion with you. Or actually, I request you that in pairs, that you discuss with your neighbor this following question. I have put in the middle some items that usually is our possession. And I have two columns. One column says what belongs to you, and the other column says what does not belong to you. And I want you for the next few minutes turn to your neighbor and discuss of these items, maybe even more items you can bring up, what does really belong to you and what is not in your possession. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe 2-3 minutes. Okay. see you all had very, very intense discussions. I hope you didn't open your bank account and let everyone else know what your bank statement was. This was not the exercise here. Who wants to share what they have discussed? You want to share? Yes, bro.
I think only intelligence belongs to us. Rest all that comes here and goes away.
Okay.
They go away from the world.
Can you explain?
So intelligence is something that you get to know by living here actually. So you learn about your surroundings. You learn about educate. You study something from education. Whatever you acquire the intelligence, this will be there. Again, materialistic intelligence is not going to help us here actually. The only intelligence that could help us and belong to us is about that we study about God actually. So that is the only thing will come with us and will stay with us even after our life.
Okay.
So rest all you get here is going to stay here and it's not going to be yours.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Thank you. There is a Tamil saying, I forgot, which just says that you should invest in your education because that's the only thing you're gonna have till in the end. But I forgot the Tamil quote. So anyways, other thoughts? Yes.
Out of these, I think nothing belongs to us.
Okay, you say nothing belongs to us.
Because even intelligence I feel we've been given this intelligence because we've taken the human form.
Uh-huh.
And so if you just think about your soul, and when you pass on to your next life, then you leave your house, leave your food, body, post, intelligence, skill, family, property, wealth, everything.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't really belong to us, I feel. Could be
Okay.
wrong.
It's also a valid argument, right? I think both arguments are valid. Thank you. After death, we are going to leave him in this body, right? So
Yes.
with this intelligence.
And we don't know if we are in human form or not.
Whether in the next body we take, whether how much our intelligence will become.
Yes, so it's given to us. Yes.
Thank you. Any other thoughts? Yes?
I think, from my point of view, we come also without anything else, and we go without anything else, and actually we can be happy that we doesn't have a big backpack.
Okay. It's a relief, you think, yeah? Okay. Yes.
But I would still say, like, while we're on, like, in this world,
Mhm.
we kind of, like, we own, also, like, we kind of have those skills, and we have the intelligence, and we may have, like, the property, and our body, so it's, like, it's temporary, but, like, during a certain amount of time, it does really belong to us.
Yeah, that's a very important point, right? So we say after death we leave everything behind, but that doesn't mean that we just because we think this does not belong to us, we are not living like, okay, it does not anyway belong to us, so let's ignore it, right? We are not living like this. We are taking care of what we have. So these 2 points, actually, as we heard, one side, at the end we leave everything behind, nothing belongs to us. At the same time, while we live in this body, we have certain things, and somehow how to use them. And this is actually the Isavasyam principle, how to combine these 2 truths, actually. I feel you are a very advanced audience, and I hope to hear more arguments for the left side, but somehow you are all agreeing on this point. Also, the Isavasyam tells that ultimately all these items do not belong to us, belongs to someone else,
Yes.
and we are actually just the users of these elements.
Yeah.
This is the point. We are not the owner, but we are just using these elements.
There is one thing I think that belongs to us, because there is dot, and I thought our karma when we die, our name remains.
Mhm.
And then it might be remembered for our good karma or our bad karma. So I think karma belongs to us.
Oh, you say karma belongs to us. Now we come to a very, very philosophically difficult, complex things. Some people also said free will belongs to us. Free will. That's also a valid point, right? But these are all things, philosophically very, very complex things, and I think I'm not so qualified to. It will be a long discussion, right? So that's a very important point. There are certain things seems to belong to us, and we can discuss further how they are. Good. Thank you for this point. Today I will not go much on this side. Okay? Please relieve me. So this is the verse from the Ishopanishad. It's mantra 1. It goes like Isavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena jaktena punchita ma krita kasya svit dhanam. Can someone read the translation?
Everything, animate or inanimate, that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong.
This is exactly the discussion we had. This verse is bringing 2 points. It explains about certain thing called Isha. Isha means, in Sanskrit term, can mean like Lord, the supreme cause, the supreme source. And this statement, or this mantra says that everything what you can find in this universe, not only in this universe, even the universe itself belongs to this Isha, to this Lord. Whatever is animate or inanimate is controlled and owned by the Lord. And then this beautiful second sentence, that we should accept only that is set aside as our quota that we are meant to use, and we should not take more than necessary, definitely not take things which belong to someone else. It's a beautiful verse, isn't it? It's very, I think, just in this verse it says a lot how we can live in harmony. It says, the first point explains us in what consciousness we have to live also, and the second point, how then to act. And in this remaining time, I would like to go through these 2 points. And first I would like to discuss who is this Lord and why is he the proprietor of everything that exists. Who is this Isha? For this also, I would like to bring another verse from the Ishopanishad. And this verse is probably a little more complicated, so bear with me. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate. Someone wants to read this translation?
The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as his phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance.
This verse brings a lot of Purnam in this verse. Purna means complete or perfect, and so many Purnams in this mantra itself. And I think the verse is also a little complex, and I tried to explain it as much possible as I can. This verse specifically brings 3 points. What 3 points can you derive from this mantra? 3 features of this Isha. Yes?
God is perfect, so everything that kind of comes from him or is created by him is perfect too.
Uh-huh. So you have actually already told 2 points. So 1 point is that Isha, the source of everything, that is perfect and complete. And emanations, whatever comes from this source, you said like we ourselves, we are a part of this source, we are also complete and perfect. So this is 2 points, and 1 point is novice. Yes?
And although that so many things are emanating from him, he actually still remains complete.
And the last point is, even though so many things come out of him, of this Isha, he still remains complete. So these are the 3 points, and let's go over them. So it says, it speaks about Isha, the supreme source, and people call it differently. People say God. In our Krishna conscious movement, in our Vaishnava tradition, we call him Krishna. And he has a certain attribute that is only belonging to him. He is perfect and complete. What does it mean? When we speak of the Supreme Source, we describe him differently. Every religion, every philosophy tries to understand that source and gives different definitions. One philosophy would say it's the energy that we are around us. That is the supreme source of everything. And we are all part of that energy. That's one explanation philosophies and religions give. And other people will say that source, that God, he is living in our heart. He's with us, he's witnessing us, he's a friend. That's the Isha, that's the supreme source. And other traditions say that supreme Isha, he's not only the energy around us and someone who lives in our heart, but he's even the supreme person, the supreme individual being. And according to this verse, because Isha has to be complete, all these 3 statements have to be true in him. So that's the explanation also Srila Prabhupada gives to this point, that Krishna or Isha is perfect and complete because he captures all these features of this supreme source that we try to describe. In our Vedic tradition, we call this energy that is all around us, of which we are all a substance, we call it Brahman. Krishna, the Isha, possesses that feature. God in our heart, living with us and witnessing every activity. In the Vedic tradition, we call him Paramatma, the super soul. Not just the soul, but the super soul. And he is the supreme personality. And that's why we call him Bhagavan. The supreme person who has all the supreme opulences and characteristics of an individual being. And therefore, and this is kind of one description how we can say that Isha is Purna, he is complete. And Prabhupada says, very beautifully here, let me find it, the complete whole must contain everything within and beyond our experience. If we are all coming out of a single source, that source must contain everything what we have and also everything that is beyond our imagination. So we are all individual beings, so the supreme being also needs to be individual. We all have certain opulences, we have money, we are intelligent, beautiful, etc. So the supreme being also has to have it, otherwise he is not complete. So that's kind of the one argumentation that Isha Upanishad brings. This is also explaining later why he's the proprietor. This is the 3 points. The other point is, all the emanations coming out of him, they are also complete in themselves. So from the source we see that different things emanate, like the spiritual world, this material world, living entities, you, me, etc. And many more things. And the thing is, we are not big as him, as the Isha itself, but because we are coming out of this perfect source, we are complete in ourselves. Means whatever we are meant to do, everything that we are meant to do, we also possess in our life. We are small, but we are in this way also complete. And this is a point that later links to the why Isha is a proprietor. It says that we are all created by the Supreme Lord, by Isha. Because we are created by him, ultimately we belong to him. And everything that's created by him belongs to him. So this is kind of this argument that Isha Upanishad brings. And the last one, it's also an interesting one. The Isha, Krishna, he remains complete. So many things come out of this source, but nothing, even though so many things come out of him, there is no, there is no lack left behind him. Like here we say, as something would emanate, there is a whole, that is usually the material mathematics. But in his case, it does not, this is not true. So many things can come out of him, and he still remains that complete source and balance. And all these things explain that Krishna at the end, he's the supreme source, and therefore he's also the owner of everything. And this then asked also this question, why is actually nothing really belonging to us? Because you already started with the body, for example. This body at the end, it's made of material elements. And when my Atma leaves this body, when I'm dying, all these elements are gonna merge with the earth. So I haven't created this, I'm just taking it, and with food I am maintaining it, but it's not me who has created this, but it's Isha, the source. Therefore it belongs to him. With everything we can make this thought process. We have this building, maybe you have bought a home, and you have bought your home with hard earnings, but still every brick and every metal you use, you haven't created yourself that elements, right? You are taking it from the nature, and at the end it will go back, merge with this nature. So we are not the true proprietor, but someone else. And this is a very, very important consciousness or mentality we have to develop to understand and how to use each and every element. Because, as the discussion was, okay, nothing belongs to us, but still we have got something, right? So that's the next question then. So this statement does not say that because everything belongs to Krishna, we just should ignore everything and just not exist or whatever. But it says we are given certain quota. Everyone is given certain resources, and you should use it properly. First of all, for maintaining yourself, and to develop your spiritual consciousness, your Krishna consciousness. That's the second part. Accept only your quota. What is your quota? That's the big question. I mean, what can I use now? And what shall I not use? What belongs to some other living entities to use? I think that's the difficult question. I think there we say devil is in the detail. But the Vedas, they also give some hints and some explanations. And the first thing that the Vedas say, whatever you need for you maintaining your body and your mind and your soul, you can use. Right? Food we need to maintain the body, so there is a certain quota allocated to us. We have to eat. But we should not eat too much or have too much food that we cannot eat anyways, because that food at the end should belong or should be used for someone else. And if we come back to these points, Prabhupada is giving an example, so how to use, or what it means actually to accept only your quota. And he's giving this example with food. And I already mentioned to you, we need food to maintain ourselves. But Prabhupada says, as long as we have fruits, vegetables, grains, etc., are we allowed to kill other living beings to eat it? As long as we have fruits and vegetables and grains, we are not then entitled to take a life of another animal just to satisfy our tongue, right? So Prabhupada says here, the Vedas explains, your quota, as long as you have enough food, grains, etc., you should live as vegetarians. Or nowadays even we have devotees who also promote vegan, because cows, they are mistreated and etc. And we take the milk from the cow in very, very harsh ways. So nowadays maybe even we should think of that option also, become vegan. So that's the point Prabhupada says. But then Prabhupada says in this verse of the Ishopanishad, this is the one point, accept only what is your quota, with the consciousness that everything belongs to Krishna ultimately. Adding this consciousness means that whatever we acquire, we also, with this mentality, we also offer it to him first. That is what we call prasadam in our tradition. So not just accepting your quota, but with consciousness that this belongs to my Isha, to Krishna. And particularly in our tradition, what we do with food is we offer it first to Krishna, prasadam, and then we accept it. And in this way, this is combining these 2 points, this is the Isavasyam principle. These 2 points, accepting what is your quota, and this is already nice. I mean, if people would do this, it's already a very, very big step. But then adding that consciousness, the memory that Krishna is the ultimate proprietor of everything, that makes it the Isavasyam principle. Does it make sense what I've spoken till so far? So I was just thinking, so we have already discussed all the other elements, and you can now make this thought process with each item, with each element you find here, this 2 thought process. So I was just thinking, maybe for the next few minutes, again you turn to your neighbor and maybe think of these elements, of these items, you can pick some. How would you apply the Isavasyam principle on these elements? Is that okay? Hare Krishna. Continue. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Did you watch us? So I see you have also again have some discussions. I hope it helped a little bit what I explained, what I tried to explain before. Someone wants to share maybe what they discussed?
I tried, so my English is not so good, but I tried. We talked about the house.
Uh-huh.
The quota could be that the house is not bigger than we need. We are only two, it should not be a villa maybe, and should not take too much money so that we have enough maybe also for donation, something like that. And the Krishna is proprietors, that I have space and also the capacity because it's not too big. I don't have too much cleaning maybe, so I can more reading from Krishna and chanting, something like that. So I have time also for spirituality. Yes, maybe something
Good.
like
Thank
that.
you. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, home is always a very practical point. You said not too big house, you said. Probably we get sometimes too high mortgage and then we cannot pay it back. But also what practical is also what I think with house and home is then to develop this mentality, like this home, I can make a temple. So, and then when I am practicing spirituality there, if I chant, if I sing, if I read, I can make that place a spiritual home, a temple. In this way, plus Krishna's proprietor is also added. Thank you. Yes?
So we thought about wealth and property, or like just having money in that sense. And we've discussed, and actually you should just have as much money as you actually need to maintain yourself, maybe your family, but then for the rest, like give it maybe to charity, or also maybe like give it to the temple, or kind of support the temple in that sense. For other
Thank you.
people.
Yeah, thank you. Just one point I want to add is here. Usually Vedas, they are not like against accumulating wealth, but they promote that when we accumulate wealth, we should do it in an honest way. And if we do it in an honest way, whatever we have, we should use it for good causes, you said, for helping others. And also, maybe also in your services, you can use your wealth and help others in spirituality and Krishna consciousness. this way, even if you can have much wealth. Prabhupada says this is because he came to America during the Cold War time, and there the question was capitalism versus communism. And he said this is Bhagavata communism, means you can earn so much wealth you want, but be conscious that this wealth belongs to Krishna and use it in this way. Just
everything in this world is borrowed from God. Everything in this world is borrowed from God. We don't take anything with, just our experience.
Yeah.
Buddha says, when I go to the river, I just take the water that I need to calm my thirst and to wash me, and the rest I let it flow.
Thank you. Yeah. These saints and people, they can just live so simple, right? Prabhupada says also simple living, high thinking. We usually think we need more, but these saints, Buddha, they all explain how we can just live with few items. The time is running up, and I don't want to take your time for prasadam, so therefore I just want to end with this quote. It's a beautiful quote that Prabhupada writes in this book. It says, all forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole.
Very good.
So this means that we just discussed who Isha is, the source of everything, Krishna, and he's the complete whole. And when we at the moment experience something incomplete, this means that we are not connected with him. We have forgotten him, we have turned away from him and acting differently from him, separated from him. Prabhupada says, just try to connect again with Isha. And because he is complete and you are a part of him, if you come back to him, you will also become complete and perfect. So with this, I want to end. Sorry that I haven't left time for some discussion and questions, but I would thank very much for your patience and attention. It was very pleasant having you here. So thank you very much from my side. And the next program will be prasadam. And for this, you have noticed we are trying out another service method of the prasadam. So we will bring the prasadam inside. So we will request you again to sit in rows and to bring the cushions there. We will make some arrangements with the place, and then we will serve you prasadam. Okay? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki!
Krishna. Dear devotees, please sit in the rows, as we always do. Please sit, we can start serving prasadam. Turn around with this way. Back to back. Turn around. Yes. The same.